morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon where you are on the globe. Sometimes you come across an idea which is inspiring and thought-provoking. From nowhere you encounter a thought which forces you to stop and think. Today I am talking to Professor Arun Tiwari, a missile scientist turned educator, who is known for co-authoring the book Wings of Fire with former President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Today I am talking to him about his new book with Dr. Kalam, Squaring the Circle. The title is little intriguing, Squaring the Circle. Let's ask Professor Tiwari.
Thanks Sanjeev for your nice words. Actually, squaring the circle has been a problem of ancient mathematics, and Aryabhat 500 years before Christ, he was the first to give the ratio of the diameter of a circle and the perimeter of a circle. The ratio is called pi. Now pi is a rational number, and to find out the square root of pi is an impossibility. So how do we construct a square which is exactly the area of a circle? It's very difficult. But in this book we are using it as a metaphor to reflect upon the problem of India in becoming a developed country. You know, we got our independence in 1947 and we are going in circles, and it is time that we square up the situation and make sure that we become a developed nation.
Yes, it is indeed something that we young people fail to understand. Indians have made their mark all over the globe for their simplicity, for their hard work and intelligence. But why were we still laggards in terms of development?
See, this book called for a renaissance because India is the youngest country on earth today. 540 million people in India are young, less than 25 years age. 200 million out of these people, they have a right to vote and elect their leaders. So this book give a clarion call to the youth of India: arise, awake, and transform your nation into a developed country.
So is it modeled on Renaissance, the cultural movement that spanned Europe between 14th to 17th century? It was indeed an attempt by the intellectuals to study and improve both the secular and the materialistic world through revival of thoughts and ideas.
See, in this book, Dr. Kalam's taken a new approach. He explained a connectivity between what is happening outside us and what is happening inside us. So outside us, what is happening in my family, what is happening in my organization, in my society, in my country, globally what is happening. And inside, I have my fears, I have my hopes, I have my talents, my drives, my urges. So I have to link these two, and by linking these two, new insights will come and new solution will emerge. That is the idea of Renaissance mooted by Dr. Kalam in this book.
So Renaissance has two connotations: to revive and to make a new start. Which one do you advise?
This book calls for revival. You know, India has been a great civilization. So we have to revive ourselves. We have to revive our values. We have to revive our confidence. We have to revive the fundamental determination to self-reliant in essential things, to develop our villages and to lift the standard of life of our people. So it is for revival.
So what is the basis of this Renaissance? Is Dr. Kalam talking about some lofty ideas or some philosophical tenets here?
Actually, opposite to that, Dr. Kalam is simplifying and demystifying a lot of big things which are said in the name of Renaissance. He is telling that there is a irrefutable universal law of cause and effect. What you do comes back to you. Now it happens at every level. If you elect bad leaders, you will have bad governance. If you destroy environment, you will have harsh climatic conditions troubling you. If you ill-treat your family, the bad forces in societies, they enter in your lives. And even if you steal or decide or tell lies, you suffer a hell inside your heart. So whatever you do, you cannot get away from that.
So you mean the poverty and bad living conditions in India are a result of incompetent people running the affairs of this country?
Dr. Kalam quotes the word of British historian Tony Judd. He says, something is profoundly wrong with the way we are living today. And in fact, Tony Judd has been the inspiration for him to write this book.
So is this book a critique of our politicians?
No, actually, there is no criticism of anybody. The book called for our politics to rise to developmental politics, and our politicians should compete with each other to make this country as a developed nation. All parties should work for the development of the nation.
But Indian economy is consistently growing over many years now. So isn't that development?
See, Dr. Kalam differentiate between growth and development. See, when we have a cancer, certain cells in our body, they grow faster than rest of the body, and eventually they create a lot of problem inside the body. So similarly, what our economy is growing, surely our economy is growing, and out of the 1,000 billionaires in the world today, 7% are from India. But our GDP is only 2% of the global economy, and 20% of GDP of India belongs to this handful of billionaires, whereas 42% of the Indian children are suffering from malnutrition, and our Prime Minister called it as a national shame. So where is this billionaires extra money? Where is this malnutrition in half of the children? So there is a problem.
So does this book offer a solution?
Surely, and 7 steps are articulated of Renaissance, how it can be changed. And the first step is the understanding of the cause and effect, irrefutable law. You cannot get away from doing wrong things. And then it goes to India taking the lead in sustainable development and making this planet Earth as a more livable planet. So this entire spectrum is covered in this book.
So how is this book written? Is it an essay, discourse, an argument, or is it a critique?
See, this book is written in the dialogue form as we are talking. So Dr. Kalam talked to me, I talked to him. And you know, in our India, there is a culture of dialogue. Our Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, everything is written in dialogue form. And through this book, we want our readers to continue this dialogue. When they read this book, they should write back and ask more questions. And like this, through this question answers, you will find all the solutions to our problems.
Right, it is indeed a very novel way to invoke young minds with political thoughts.
Yes, you are right. Actually, Dr. Kalam says at the end of this book that I leave this book in the hands of my readers. And he says something very interesting, that in your life, whomsoever you meet, some people will help you, some people will trouble you. God is on both sides always. So he promotes this thought and give an opportunity for young people to reflect that in their problems, in their difficulties, solutions are hidden.
For all those who crossed our path, God is on both sides. It is indeed a very beautiful thought, Professor.
Thanks, Sanjeev. I want to tell you one thing. You know, I witnessed Dr. Kalam life. He was born in a distant place, Rameshwaram, poor family, tough conditions, and he rose to become a great scientist and president of our country. All over the world he is known. So his life is an example, and every young person in India, everywhere, if he follow a right path, he can also transform his life. So we invite our readers to join this dialogue, to grow in their own life, and together make India a developed country. That is the idea.
Thank you, Professor Tiwari. It was indeed a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
So, Squaring the Circle, 7 Steps to Indian Renaissance, the book written by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and Professor Arun Tiwari, is releasing soon. We look forward to the release of the book.